Hey guys, Joe Mayo here, and I've got a very special episode for you today. We're heading back to the ghost town of Rhyolite, just outside of Beatty, Nevada. But what's special about today? I gain access inside the railroad depot. This is a very rare and special opportunity. This place has been fenced off since the mid-1980s, and getting inside is pretty rare. So anyway, let's go check out the railroad depot at Rhyolite. In keeping with its prominence as a mining center, Rhyolite was serviced by three railroads: the Las Vegas and Tonopah, the Tonopah and Tidewater, and the Bullfrog Goldfield. The Las Vegas and Tonopah Railroad laid 1 mile of track per day, then 2 miles of track per day in its hurry to connect Rhyolite with the outside world. The first train from the Las Vegas and Tonopah entered Rhyolite at 7 p.m. on December 14, 1906, with about 100 passengers. It was a big deal for a young mining town to be serviced by one railroad, but three railroads were almost unheard of in the history of Nevada. With three railroads, it seemed that Rhyolite was destined to be the largest mining camp in the state, and the first few boom years made its prediction look inevitable. By 1907, the Las Vegas and Tonopah alone was hauling 50 freight cars into town per day. The large volume of freight required a large depot to handle it. In 1907, the Las Vegas and Tonopah began building the depot that stands before you. It is constructed of concrete block with a solid concrete foundation in the Mission Revival style. There was a gentleman's waiting room on the east end and a ladies' waiting room on the west end. A separate baggage room was located east of the men's waiting area. The ticket office was located in the center of the building, and the ticket agent's quarters were located upstairs. It was planned to take an entire city block on Golden Street, and it cost approximately $130,000, which is equivalent to $4 million in today's numbers. The Las Vegas Tonopah Railroad Depot was completed in June 1908, around the same time that Rhyolite began its slow decline. Within months of its completion, more people were leaving Rhyolite through the depot than were arriving. The railroad turned a small profit in 1908, but lost money every following year until it was finally dismantled in 1919. The tracks were salvaged, but the depot was left to stand as one of the few remaining buildings from the Rhyolite boom, primarily because it could not be moved elsewhere. In the 1920s, Rhyolite enjoyed a small revival through tourism. Westmoreland bought the depot in 1935 and, beginning in 1937, operated as Rhyolite Ghost Casino. The drinking and gaming were conducted downstairs, while a different type of hospitality, reportedly staffed by working women, was conducted upstairs in the old ticket agent's quarters. Like the town before it, the casino had a relatively short life. The onset of World War II and the associated war effort, including full rationing, completely drained the area's economy. By the 1960s, the building had passed to Moreland's sister, Mrs. Herschel Heiser, who operated the lower floor as a museum and gift shop for tourists. Since the 1930s, the depot has passed from person to person, eventually ending up with the Barrick Mining Company. In October of 2000, the Bureau of Land Management acquired the depot along with most of the Rhyolite town site from the mining company in a land swap. At some time before the swap, a group of local citizens replaced the historic depot roof with modern composite shingles. Although not historically accurate, the shingles have helped preserve the building in the relatively good condition that we have today. At the time the depot was built, a local newspaper claimed it was the finest in the state. So walking on these decks is really cool. The first time I came to Rhyolite was probably 1984, and this building was not fenced off at that time. So it's kind of hard to think back. The building itself was closed, but the fence wasn't there. The fence didn't come along till I believe 1985. So for the first time since 1985, I've got to walk along the building here. This is just wicked cool for me. And right along here to the left is where the railroad tracks were. And I don't know, this part that sticks out up here, was this a ticket window? I'm really not sure. I would think that the side that the train is on was the front of the building, but the other side is a little more ornate, and it overlooks the town of Rhyolite. This building is on a higher elevation than the rest of town, so really not sure. If you know, let me know. And some of this stuff is pretty cool. And look at this rain gutter here in green on the right. I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen kind of an ornate rain gutter. That's kind of cool. And this kind of circular rounded door here, really not sure. Maybe that was for supplies or something. I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's a little different. So maybe that's why they brought supplies in or shipments when they moved them in and out. I don't know if the mail came through here. Did these railroad stations transport and store mail? I don't know. And up on the very top, that green sign, it's still, you can still see where it says Rhyolite Ghost Casino, and that is back from the 1920s when it was the Rhyolite Ghost Casino. And this woodwork, look at it, it's still in pretty good shape. And that's, you know, I guess I would attribute that to the dry climate out here in the West. But this is really, really something cool for me, and I wish, yeah, I wish the windows didn't have to be boarded up, but I was talking to the ranger earlier, and I guess there have been several break-ins over the years, and why somebody would want to break into this and do any damage, I don't know. Even when I was a youngster and, you know, maybe a little destructive, I never would have messed with anything like this. This is just a cool place. And look at this entrance here. I mean, that's another one that's kind of neat and ornate. And then we're moving over to the side that faces town. And like I say, this to me would be kind of the front of the building. It's pretty neat. Can you imagine what it was like back in the day when this was open? And if you think about Rhyolite, the whole town of Rhyolite is pretty much gone. When they left, they took what they could, and what they didn't, the other buildings have pretty much crumbled. This one is still standing, so that says something to the builders of this building, that it is basically in unrestored condition. There's another pretty cool stairway there. And up on top, the second level there, the left window, that appears to be a bedroom. We'll get up there in a minute. And the one on the right was a bathroom with a shower and such. But let's go up the stairway here, and we're going to go inside. So yeah, again, walking on these decks, just think back 115 years ago when this place was open and in operation. But in the meantime, let's go in these doors and check it out. Okay, here we go. And with all the windows boarded up, it is pitch dark in here. So I have my flashlight, wicked bright flashlight, shining up on the ceiling, filtering some light down. The room in front is the only room that has two small windows in it that are bringing some light in. And man, check this out, the stairway. Oh, this is cool. I wonder if we're allowed to go up there. That is cool. I have a feeling they won't, because it's probably not safe. Guess what? We're going upstairs. Thank goodness we've got our BLM Ranger giving us a tour.
But I would honestly keep this right here.
Keep in mind, these rooms back in the 30s, when this was a casino, these rooms were used for the prostitutes. No better way to say it.
That middle one is...
So it looks like, well, this looks like it was a bathroom at one time with the tile work. I don't know. It looks like maybe a water heater. Oh, but there's a toilet back here and a sink and mirror. So this must be a bathroom. This had to be added later. You gotta remember, when this place was built, I don't think there was really a whole lot of indoor plumbing. This shower definitely has to be a retrofit put in at a later date. I was gonna take a shower. Anything over here?
I'll just put the fixtures in here.
I guess back in the day, the ticket master would sleep in one of these rooms or live in one of these rooms. Check out those 70s light fixtures there. What a shame that this is in such rough condition, but the woodwork is still looking pretty good. See how dark it is? If it wasn't for my light, there would be no way I'd be able to get video here. I was really, really fortunate that I brought that with me. There was probably about 10 of us that had this great privilege to come in here. This stairway is wicked cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you just take out. Up there is pretty good, the only place are.
Let's head back down.
Because then this part looks pretty set.
A little sketchy. I'm really glad that the BLM guy let us go up. This is wicked cool. Guessing this was a freezer for when it was a casino back in the 30s. I guess this might have been the main, I don't know, main lobby or something in here.
If you can make sure that no one else can go upstairs, unlock it anyone.
Oh yeah. Looks like a lot of the roof pieces here, from what the Rangers said, they've kept everything that they could. So this back here looks like a pantry, maybe storage.
You can see the old. This used to be before it was renovated. Storage. You can get those old boxes.
Yeah. Ah, another bathroom downstairs. Kitchen on the left there. And kitchen through this window. Yeah, this seems to be the main waiting room or lobby, something like that. These are the only two windows here to the right that still bring any light in here. Otherwise, it is very, very dark. It looks like the ticket office window right to the right there. This is the back side of the ticket window, so I guess this is where they gave out the tickets. I don't know. This had to be really, really nice back in the day. You know what? This is a rare opportunity. Let's run back upstairs, get another peek. Well, that was really cool. That was inside the railroad depot at Rhyolite. And before we leave town, we're just going to take a little walk down the main street here and check out some of the buildings. This is the Cook Bank building. Actually, the last video I did was specifically on this and its history, so check that out. But and here's what it looked like back in like 1907. It's amazing how, if you think about it, this building isn't that old, 15 years old, and look at the condition that it's in. It's just crumbled. Yet this is one of the better buildings other than the railroad depot. This is the next most complete building in this town. But again, as I said before, could you imagine back in the day, this was something really special. This was probably the nicest building in Rhyolite. And here I am walking up to the bank entrance to deposit my gold. How about that? And we'll see what kind of interest rates they have today. And in the back there, I'm sure those two doors on the top there are the vaults. And on the bottom, from what I've read, the bottom was the post office, and that would be, I'm sure, for their safekeeping as well. So, cool stuff. And probably not the safest thing to do, walk in here with the building crumbling like it is. Although I've been coming here 40 years, and this building really hasn't changed too much in that time. So I think its decay is kind of stopped for a while. But who knows? You never know what the future will hold, and you never know, bricks could come falling down or anything. So use caution for sure. And it doesn't look like there's any UPS or FedEx packages in here, so let's head back out. But this is impressive. This is really a big building. It's quite massive. And this building was probably just a couple of doors down from the Cook Bank building. I say that because I think these buildings were stacked really close together. And I would guess this would be one of the other banks. There were 3 banks in Rhyolite based on the complete, what I would consider, again, the vault back here. This was probably one of the competing banks. Rhyolite has a lot of cool and quirky things. This was an artist's depiction of the Last Supper. This was done back in the early 80s, right about the time I moved to Las Vegas. And I'm really impressed that this hasn't been destroyed or graffitied or anything by vandals. And I think maybe because it's just pretty wicked cool to see this out in the desert. I'm not sure what this is, but it reminds me of something from Jeepers Creepers. And here's my take, my photography take on it. Kind of a cool shot. So anyway, I want to thank everybody who's joined me today, and stick around. I've got more videos coming up. So see you next time.